to say no torture, no George Bush. 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 No George Bush. We're gonna have a couple more speakers here, and then we may be on the move. We're not sure. There's a few entrances here, and we know that Bush and Clinton aren't going on until 12:30, 12:45, so we don't know if they're in the building yet. It may have been mentioned already, but right now in Surrey Provincial Court there are lawyers from the Centre for Constitutional Rights and the Canadian Centre for International Justice attempting to have charges presented on behalf of 4 victims of torture from the Bush administration. So a Surrey judge is being asked to actually accept war crimes and torture charges against George Bush as we speak.
I know where there's a policeman! There's a policeman! There you go!
Okay, so we have...
That's right.
The government above them is certainly corrupt, so I want to invite up to share a few words about the legal case against George Bush, someone who has led international efforts to hold Bush accountable, and that is Gail Davidson of Lawyers Against War.
That our elected officials are public servants, and that includes our police forces, enforce the law that prohibits the illegal use of force, war crimes, crimes against humanity and torture. That's the only option we have, is enforcement of the law. Our government, every level of government, municipal, provincial and federal, has said that they will not enforce those laws against their friend, George Bush.
Shame!
That in itself is a violation of the very foundation of our system. That is the equality provision of the rule of law, that the law apply equally to everyone. In this century already, more than 1 million people have been killed, innocent people in Iraq alone, through the illegal use of force.
That's right.
Other war crimes and crimes against humanity, including torture.
Shame! 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 Shame!
The rights of you and I are only as safe as the rights of the least well protected. So the rights of you and I are only as safe as those of the people in Iraq who lost their lives to George Bush.
Shame! Shame!
Please continue to send the message to all of your elected representatives at every level and your public servants that you will not stand for public welcome, public recognition being given to what is arguably the world's most notorious and worst war criminal.
That's right. Woo!
That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My city council, and some people have a choice. I'm going to give the microphone to Deanna now. Good morning, and great to see such a good turnout.
Louder!
Over in July, so it's terrific July here. Something that I think deserves an answer. I certainly can't see why why working here. So, anyways, I support the upcoming elections, and that's about all I have to say. So,
Raise your hand like this.
thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It's the Bush. Get some Bush. Yeah.
Thank you, Deanna. So voters in Surrey, you have a choice. You do not have to vote for the woman who rolled out the red carpet for a war criminal here today.
Here, here. That's right.
We have a few more speakers here. Also, Bridget DePape is going to be dropping by, the Stop Harper protester. Let's hear it for Bridget DePape. So we're going to have some some Stop Harper, Stop Bush chants later for you and some words from her. But we don't want to forget about the other war criminal in there today. The Clinton government also had a lot of blood on its hands in Yugoslavia, in Haiti, and many other places, and also in Iraq with the sanctions and bombings there before the Bush administration. So I wanted to just invite Roger Ennis from the group Haiti Solidarity B.C. to remind us about the real record of the other guest of honor, President Clinton. Okay, so let's invite Roger Ennis up from Haiti Solidarity B.C.
Yeah.
There's another president in here today. Bill Clinton is the head of the Reconstruction Commission in Haiti since the earthquake. This is the commission that has the money in its hands. It's not the Haitian government that's getting all those pledges that we've heard about reported in the news. It's the Reconstruction Commission under William Clinton. Now in March of 2010, March 31st to be exact, Clinton made a big mea culpa to the world. He said that if Haiti was so poor, so undeveloped, so vulnerable to the earthquake, that he bore a great responsibility for that, because it was under his time, his 8 years as president, among other things, that Haitian agricultural production was greatly harmed and destroyed by the export policies of the U.S. government in support of the agricultural food corporations in the United States. And he said specifically the rice production in Haiti, which is a staple of the Haitian diet, was destroyed by the export policies of the U.S. government in supporting and subsidizing the exports of rice producers in the United States. Well, that was a nice mea culpa for him to make, but unfortunately the policies remain the same. And the policies of the Reconstruction Commission in Haiti today and since the earthquake is not one of prioritizing the development of Haitian agriculture, or of establishing a public health care system in Haiti, or a public education system in Haiti. Prior to the earthquake, half of Haiti's children did not go to school. Most Haitian people did not have access to health care. Has that changed since the earthquake? Well, not because of Mr. Clinton. If there's been some improvements in health care in Haiti made, it's because of the tremendous work of global health organizations in Haiti, such as Partners in Health, or such as the Cuban Medical Mission, which have brought far more health care to Haiti than all of the big wealthy governments of the world combined. So thank you to Cuba for showing us that there is such a thing as revolution, and it will prevail over the greed and destructive policies of the likes of William Clinton. Now yesterday, Partners in Health held a conference call on the situation of cholera in Haiti. Cholera was brought